No way!
Hey, this is The Great Expanse. So this club was running a game jam, and I had never done a game jam before, so I decided to go there with a friend. I was a little worried because there were going to be people there who had actually done this before. Alas, I went anyway, and there it was revealed that the theme of the jam was chain reaction. This is actually the page she showed when she announced the theme. So we started brainstorming ideas, and the themes we narrowed it down to were either a nuclear fission type chain reaction or a Rube Goldberg type chain reaction, and we weren't sure which one to go with, so we got some outside help. And we got our answer. Rube Goldberg it was. I started out making some base sprites. I wanted to keep the nuclear theme, so this game takes place in a nuclear reactor or whatever, with the goal being getting the nuclear waste to the goal. Into Unity I went, which I haven't used in a bit because I, spoiler, have been trying out Godot, and I've also been busy doing other things. And this Rube Goldberg machine needed some components, so I made them some sprites. I did plan on making more, but in the end I didn't really have time. Here they are, kinda working in-game. The balloon floats, the trampoline makes things bounce, and the duckin' walks back and forth. I reused the walking script from something else, and it wasn't really working correctly, so I had to go in and alter it a bit. Most importantly, the player needed a way to move these components around, so I made use of the drag object script from a previous game I made. But it did need quite a bit of modification to work correctly here, though. Here it is. Once again, I ran into the issue of white outlines needing to extend past the edge of the sprite, but I ended up fixing it in a different way than I did last time. Then I whipped up a background to be used everywhere. After that, I attempted to make a rope with hinge joints, but I couldn't really get it to work for some reason, so I ultimately gave up on having ropes in the game. With that disappointment, I went to fixing the outlines on selected objects. I realized that, by chance, I had given every sprite a black outline, so instead of extending each sprite edge like last time, I just made a shader that converts the black pixels into other colors, and just made sure I didn't use black pixels anywhere else in the sprites. With all the game mechanics pretty much done, not really, I worked on the UI that makes the game work. So, naturally, the first thing I worked on was a pause screen and a stupid script that made the letters in the pause screen jump around, because I've got priorities here. And then, more importantly, I made a script to pause objects until this button is pressed, which then makes them all unpause. This is the actual main gameplay mechanic, so getting this done was very important. And this marked the end of Saturday, which meant I had till 6 tomorrow to finish and submit. Time for nighty-night. Refreshing sleep. I still have a long way to go and only 8 hours to get there. As soon as I got up, I started working on the title UI. I pretty much just reused what I had made for a benevolent god because I didn't really need anything different. Now you can switch to different levels, so that's good. Then I changed the dragging script a little bit more so that you couldn't move objects through solid terrain, and so you could push other movable objects, which is a big improvement. I was feeling pretty good about the game, but my confidence disappeared when I realized I don't actually have a way to clear a level. So I created this claw to hold the nuclear waste before the play button is pressed, and this pit that acts as the goal to get the waste to. And with some frantic work, here's the basic gameplay. When the waste reaches the goal, you'd be taken to the next level. And now to start working on the levels. Oh, wait, no. Actually, I wanted to make slope terrain first, so here it is with a polygon collider. Okay, now let's work on all of the levels. The first level is introductory and obvious, just to get you familiar with the mechanics and what the goal is. All you have to do is move the blocks to make a bridge. And after only making 2 levels, I decided that an hour and a half before the deadline was the right time to make an entirely new mechanic. So I made a 2-state switch that toggles blocks on and off, like the on-off switch from Super Mario Maker. And in another extremely original event, the on-off switch looks like a Mario P-switch. I was really pressed for time and couldn't really think of anything more creative. And after facing some annoying bugs with the switch in the last half hour, which I will tell you was not fun to debug, I got it working. And since there was only half hour left at that point, I had time to only make 1 level with a switch in it. So there only ended up being 4 levels in the submission, which is a little disappointing, but I think it's fine. I wish I was a little less distracted on Saturday because I didn't get much done on that day. And in the last few minutes, my friend, who was also the one who came up with the idea for the game, called it Doohickeys and Duckins. So that became the title. I also love how the icon in the tab looks. There were only 7 submissions to the jam, so there wasn't a huge amount of competition. It was an in-person jam hosted by a pretty small club at my school, so I wasn't expecting a huge turnout. I don't think I did too bad though, even though I very loosely followed the theme. So I haven't gotten any information about the results of the jam 2 weeks later, so either they don't announce a winner or they announce it at a club meeting, which I don't go to. After the jam, my friend wanted me to make a few more levels for the game, so I added a few more. The game with the updated levels is public on my itch page. Sorry this is a bit of a shorter video. I haven't really had much time to work on games and/or record, so yeah. My next video is going to be about me working with Godot. I promise. That is all for now. See you next time. Bye-bye.